back, everybody.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Another episode.
Boys are back.
Out here. This is going to be our playoff predictions for the East and the Western Conference. Won't waste too much time on the intro. We'll get right into it. What's the first series we're going to look at?
First series we're going to look at, start with the Western Conference. Warriors versus the Clippers. Number 1 8 seed going up against the Clippers. Number 8 seed, Warriors number 1 seed. It's looking like probably, I think everyone in their right mind would probably take the Warriors. That's why we both have the Warriors. How many games you got them in?
I got them in 5.
I got them in 5 too. We're going to give it a nice gentleman's sweep. We're thinking Absolutely. Clippers, Doc Rivers, Coach of the Year consideration. They got the talent. The bench might light up one game. Give them a little gentleman's sweep.
It'll probably be a game that Golden State doesn't play up to the potential.
Yeah, they'll probably take. It'll probably be like 2-0 or 3-0. They'll be in LA, and then LA will be able to sneak one. But
I see a game at 3 or 4.
I don't see the series really getting super competitive in terms of going any more games than 5. It could easily probably be a sweep too, but we'll just see how hot and how ready to go the Warriors look with DeMarcus Cousins ready to go in the playoffs. So that's what I'm looking for, to see how good Boogie looks, because as we know...
Hey, whoa. Doesn't want to be called Boogie anymore.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Anyway, Boogie.
Yeah, so the Rockets are going to have to play the Warriors, as we know, in the second round, so it's going to be really, really important to see how he's playing with the Warriors, and how the Warriors are functioning as a unit in this first round of the playoffs. All right. Anything else to add of the Warriors? Pretty straightforward, that series.
If it goes to 6, I'm going to be really excited.
I don't think it will.
I love seeing Pat Bev out there.
I think it's closer to 4 than 6.
Probably so. But you also can see it a little bit, right? Like, you could see it being like, all right, maybe Clippers just give them really big hell in Game 1.
If somehow they were to win Game 1, which I think is actually impossible, it could easily go to 6 games. Yeah. But I don't think we'll be able to steal a game in Oracle.
Speak it into existence, everybody.
Yeah.
Warriors eliminated in the first round of playoffs. Speak it into existence.
Yeah. All right, our second matchup, we got Denver at the 2 seed facing San Antonio at the 7th seed. Give us your breakdown, John.
So this is actually probably one of the series that I'm most excited for, only because I think I'm with everyone else and thinking that San Antonio, very experienced team, always does really well in the playoffs. As a Rockets fan, you know that. But Manu's not there, so it's okay. Anyway, Denver, very young team, won in the playoffs last year, don't have a lot of playoff experience. I still think Denver's going to win, and you disagree.
Yeah, I'm taking the Spurs right here. John's taking Denver. I'm taking the experienced Greg Popovich running team. You look at the Spurs in their last 20 games, 15-5, playing very well. They have the second best record in the West at home behind the Warriors. But if they're the 7th seed, that means they play pretty bad on the road. And as we know, Denver plays really well at home. So I'm thinking teams will be able to hold their own at home. But I'm taking the Spurs in 6 games.
I'm taking the Nuggets in 7, based off of that home record you just talked about. And both teams suck on the road. Both teams have great home records. I can easily see Greg Popovich carrying the Spurs team to a Game 7, and then Denver ultimately closing it behind Mike Malone's coaching.
And I honestly do agree with you. If Spurs are not able to put it away in that Game 6 and it ends up going back to Denver for that Game 7, it's going to be very, very hard for San Antonio to beat Denver in that Game 7. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying if it is the Game 7, I'm taking Denver. I'm going to take that home team. But I do think the Spurs are going to use that experience. LaMarcus Aldridge always usually plays pretty well in the playoffs. He's been playing well towards the end of the season. Jokic, as we know, has not been playing that well. I think he's like 2 for 21 or something from 3 his last 4 games leading into the playoffs. I saw him in their last game in Denver shoot a big air ball, just looking a little flustered from shooting from 3, not really want to get their shots inside. So it's going to be interesting to see where Jokic's head at, because he's really the force of that Denver team. And I think if he's playing really well, he's going to be able to gather the young troops around him. Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Vic Beasley, Monte Morris. They got all these young pieces that if they can come out,
deep team.
Yeah, if they can show out, they're going to be really good. And we didn't even bring up Isaiah Thomas if he's going to be able to make any noise in this playoffs. But I'm taking the Spurs in 6 games. Denver, I can see that happening. This is a series that we
think the way you said it was great. I think if Denver gets a Game 6 and Spurs don't put it away in 6 by Game 7, I think Denver can take it. Absolutely, I agree with you what you said there.
Gotcha.
You know the one thing I did. This is a sidetrack. You know what I'm really surprised we don't hear more about?
What?
Maybe it's just because I don't follow Denver media, but Michael Porter Jr. next year he comes back, he's gonna be really good. Hopefully. Well, I mean, he
maybe.
we talk about the young core, and we don't even talk about him.
Yeah, because he's been injured. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'll give you.
But they have this guy out there that's like, hey, he was almost an Olympic.
Yeah, if it wasn't for his injuries, he probably would have actually been.
This guy was consensus an Olympic before he got injured. Going into college. But anyway, I think that's really cool. Denver's gonna be a really fun team to watch. I just don't think they have the playoff experience to finish this game in 4 or 5 or something like that.
No way. For Spurs to win in 6, I'm thinking that the Spurs are going to be able to tack a game off Denver in these first 2 games. They might lose the first one, but they're going to have to win in Denver to be able to obviously win in 6 games. So just to break down the playoffs real quick, it's obviously going to be 2 games for the home team starting off, then 2 games for the away team, and then they go 1-1-1 depending on the series matchup and if the game needs to go another game or not. So moving on to the next series, we have Portland at the 3 seed versus OKC at the 6 seed. You think, okay, favorite team's the 3 seed right here, but nope. We both actually got OKC pulling through right here as the 6th seed. Mm-hmm. I got him in 6 games. Sean, what do you got?
I also got him in 6 games.
All right. Well, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to see how we're drawing this conclusion here. You take Portland as a team who's very good with Lillard and McCollum, but unfortunately their big man Nurkic
is out. That's my biggest thing.
Gruesome injury at the end of the season. Feel really bad for him. Hope he gets well soon, but unfortunately, it looks like OKC's going to start feasting a little bit. And if they bring in Cantor, Billy Donovan's already said Cantor, he doesn't really play good defensive ball, especially in the pick and roll situation. Billy Donovan already said as soon as Cantor's in the game, they're running that pick and roll. He's not going to be able to play. They're not going to be able to play Cantor, pretty much what they're saying. Westbrook, there's no way Cantor's going to be able to keep up with any sort of pick and roll action going on there that the Thunder like to manipulate. So OKC,
they play tonight.
They do play.
Oh. I love watching that.
So you got actually play tomorrow, but you do have OKC coming in as the 6th seed. I do think that they're going to prevail and beat Portland. So anything else to add? OKC, they're looking strong. Paul George, I will say, is a little hurt. He's questionable for this game. So if Portland was to somehow they're going to have to win. I don't want to say both of their games at home, but they're definitely for sure at least one to stay in connection. And if they were to win their first game, that's going to be critical for them, especially with Paul George not being 100% healthy. But I think they're just going to have too much firepower. I think Westbrook will be able to turn on as much as I think Westbrook's a little overrated. But, I think his shots, I just want to say his shooting percentage couldn't really get that much worse. So it's only looking up. He's obviously playing super athletic, super hustle, being able to get the team involved, make the team obviously still a lot better. But those shots have not been going in recently this year for him. So to be able to step it up in the playoffs with Paul George being a little injured, we'll see. I think he can do it. He's a really all-star, superstar caliber player. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's get to our last matchup in the West. Obviously, this is going to be the Rockets at the 4th seed versus the Jazz at the 5th seed. Give us the breakdown, John.
Jazz suck. Rockets are the best team in NBA history. Obviously, Rockets are going to win, but we got Rockets winning. Obviously, Jazz, great defensive team. Rockets, great offensive team. I think it's just going to be a fun series to watch. I think my biggest thing is Gobert. How do you affect his presence in games? How successful are you going to be at getting him in foul trouble early? And how successful are you going to be about giving him problems with Capella and Harden going towards the rim, making him make choices of when he's going to guard, what they're going to give up? I think that's going to be a big part. I actually have them in 5 games. And
I hope so.
I think it can go 6. I don't trust Utah to get it to 6 games. It was 5 games last year, right?
No, 6 last year.
6 last year. I think the Rockets are better this year than they were last year. And I don't think Utah is as good as they were last year this year. In terms of Donovan Mitchell, I don't think.
Donovan Mitchell had a slow start, starting to heat up a little bit, but yeah, he was playing spectacular in the playoffs last year.
Absolutely.
I think it's really important to note Gobert playing better, especially on the perimeter end, so we're not going to be able to abuse that pick and roll situation, and he likes to just hide a lot in that help region in the paint, and I think that's going to be a problem for the Rockets when Utah wins their games. If they win 1 or 2 or 3, or if they push the Rockets to 7 games, however it works, it's going to be because Harden and people attacking aren't going to be able to get good shots at the rim. There's going to be contested. Gobert's going to be able to help out and make an impact on that defensive end with us driving. And obviously, if we're not hitting shots and we're not getting layups and good shots inside, it's going to be easy for Utah to be able to beat Houston. That's what my main concern is, because usually whenever Houston isn't playing well, shooting the ball well from the three, we like to drive and attack, get free throws, go to the line, get easy layups, alley-oops, pick and roll, really attack inside. But Gobert can really restrict that. So Houston's going to have to shoot the ball well, especially with Utah having the second best defensive rating across the whole year. It's going to be hard for the Rockets. It's going to be a real test. That's why I'm upset that the Rockets had to slip to the fourth seed, because now we got to play this hard matchup in the first round, and then we're going to have to turn around and play the Warriors in the second. So it doesn't get easy for Houston here. But this will be a good test. Make sure we're ready to go full force.
It gets them going.
It's almost like last year, except we just skipped the first round. We got to buy the first round. We're playing Utah. So I do think the Rockets, their head-to-head series this year was split 2-2, but two of those games were early on without our full force, and we were able to beat the Jazz pretty soundly towards the end of the season. So I'm thinking that Houston will be able to wrap this up in probably 6 games. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was our West matchups for the first round.
Absolutely.
We got Warriors coming out in the first seed. They're going to play the Rockets in the second round. And then we have on the other side of the bracket in the West, we have OKC prevailing through that third seed playing I have the Spurs.
I have the Nuggets.
We'll see how it plays out. It's going to be very fun to watch going forward. Okay, you want to transition to the East?
Let's do it.
Okay, first seed in the East, we all know, is the Bucks. We got Milwaukee as the 8th seed playing the Pistons.
Yeah.
That's the first seed, playing the Pistons at the 8th seed.
This is actually going to surprise a lot of people who we have winning this. But Rook, you want to show them? In a sec, yeah. Take your time. We got the Bucks winning.
Yeah.
Big old shocker there. How many games you got it going?
Gentleman sweep. I'm going to give Dwayne Casey and the Pistons a little edge here. I think Blake Griffin going to have at least one game in him. Yeah,
I got it in 4.
John's not a gentleman. He's
not a gentleman.
Sure. The Bucks. That's kind of giving Milwaukee a lot of praise, don't you think?
They got the runner-up for MVP. That's worth something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you got the runner-up, sure.
And also, they have Eric Bledsoe. They've got Chris Middleton. Harden doesn't have help. They've got a lot of really good players on that team. You know what I was thinking about the other day? We were recording an episode earlier, but some errors got
complications.
They
were saving.
If they had kept Thon Maker could have been their Pascal Siakam.
Isn't he on the Pistons?
He's on the Pistons.
It's gonna be interesting.
I want him to have a big season or big series against them.
That would be awesome.
But he could easily have been a Pascal Siakam for that team. But
he can't really shoot the ball as well. But I think Pascal
didn't do that last year. He worked on it.
I'm
saying he has the frame to be able to do it.
Has the potential to be absolutely insane.
But it's kind of like the Buffalo, where he's
crazy.
European Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Except Thornberg can't really shoot. So the Bucks should be able to put this one away. They have a lot of depth coming off the bench too. A strong defensive unit too. We'll see how they're able to. We know the Bucks have the most blowout wins in the NBA through the regular season. They have second in defensive. They're second in overall defensive efficiency. The Jazz are second in overall defensive rating. Pretty much the same thing, but pretty much the Bucks are up there in defense, and then they're 4th in overall offense. So it's going to be, I don't want to say easy for the Bucks, but they should be able to handle Detroit pretty well.
And with all Blake Griffin's injuries and everything, that's going to be a big blow to them as well.
Yeah,
Detroit's hurt.
He's been I was about to say he's been really questionable. He didn't even play the last game of the regular season that they had to win, even though they blew out the Knicks. He didn't play that game, so it just shows you that his knee is really bothering him. He's questionable for this first game, but like I said, I do think that he will be healthy. He's at least going to have one good game in him. Putting the Detroit, they still have some offensive weapons. Detroit's pretty well. Dwayne Casey, good coach. You should be able to run. At least, I would say, get a game off the Bucks. So, second matchup, second seed, we got the Toronto Raptors playing the 7th seed Orlando Magic. Now, the Magic kind of snuck into the playoffs towards the end, but they've been playing really good basketball in their last 20 games. So, the Magic are looking, I don't want to say a little scary, like they can make a little bit of noise, but I got the Raptors. And
I got the Raptors as well.
But my games may surprise you. I was going to go 6, but no, actually, I'm going 5. I think it's only going to be 5.
I'm going 4 again.
I was about to say I was almost going to say 6 because, like I said, the Magic have been playing really well towards the end of the season. Terrence Ross really becoming explosive off the bench. While he comes off the bench, he's almost like a Lou Will in a way for the Clippers. And obviously, you got Vucevic and Eric Gordon and you got Aaron Gordon.
Rockets fans.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you got Fournier too, Air Fournier, who's playing pretty well, and so the Magic should be able to string together, I think, a win or two, but Toronto.
How
are you going to bet against Toronto?
They're
and
so
Kawhi.
deep, dude.
Kawhi in the playoffs is honestly disgusting.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little tough, but it's going to be fun to see how the Raptors and the Bucks start playing off in the playoffs, because for me personally, I have them two as, I don't want to say I have the Raptors as the strongest team, but I think that the Raptors, and if the Sixers play well, are going to be able to contend the most against the Raptors and the Bucks. I actually ranked the Bucks personally and either third or fourth behind the Raptors, Boston, and then I think 76ers. Depends how 76ers play, but I think the 76ers and the Bucks probably the third or fourth best team in the East. A little surprised, and I got Boston number 2, but when you take that kind of star-level talent coming into the playoffs, we know how they performed last year, even though obviously Kyrie was not full force, Gordon Hayward too, but now Gordon Hayward's starting to play really, really well coming off. Marcus Smart is going to be out, but we're going to get into that Pacers series in a second. The point is, going forward, I do think the Raptors have the best shot of coming out of the East here. So be able to come out with a strong showing against Orlando is going to be important to see how they're functioning, how they're gelling.
Yeah, absolutely. Seconded,
yeah. Okay. What is our next matchup? The 3 seed, we have the Philadelphia 76ers against, John?
The Brooklyn Nets. This will probably be a lot of people's favorite series to watch, just because.
My personal favorite, too.
Yeah, Brooklyn is just such a fun team to watch. Sixers are a fun team to watch. It has the potential to be a really competitive series. I think everyone obviously wants a competitive series, watch some fun basketball, close games. But who do you have it going? 6?
I got 76ers in 6.
I've got
6.
I have them in 5.
Hey, John.
I am
not competitive.
I think the East is some malnourished weakness over there. So, Brooklyn. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's like you really want to watch them win a lot, but I think if the 76ers are clicking, it's over.
Yeah, I agree too, but the Brooklyn can string together. They can get hot, and D'Angelo Russell, he can close some games with that ice in his veins. So you take a team like Brooklyn, they're 5th in three-point attempts and makes. So if they're able to heat up from 3, I think that's going to prove trouble for the 76ers. The 76ers can shoot too, but when they're forced to get buckets towards late games, they have not been as efficient scoring the ball. Especially, Jimmy Butler can get you a bucket anytime you want, but it's hard to know what option you're going to go to when you got people like Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, and you want Ben Simmons to start the play, but you can't really shoot, so he's got to end up passing the ball or might be driving. So it's going to be hard to know. You kick it to Redick, and so you got a lot of options. And while that's a good problem to have, it might, this team has only played 10 games with their full starting lineup. So while I personally think that they might even be better than the Bucks and have some potential to actually go far.
They're the most talented team in the East.
But they're just not proven. That's the problem.
Absolutely.
Here. And show out. I have faith in them. I think it'll be good basketball. But I think Brooklyn, on the other hand, they have some real ballers too. D'Angelo Russell,
a lot of shooters.
Spencer Dinwiddie, I swear, he is very slept on.
The idea that they run so many skilled point guards and just combo guards
Jared
together,
Allen,
I think that's one of the best strategies. Honestly, Brooklyn Nets are kind of copying the Houston Rockets. Because first off,
analytics.
First off, last season when they were horrible, everyone was still saying, "Hey, they're like they shoot some of the most threes of teams in the league." And I was like, you know what? If they get good, like eventually keeping that tendency of shooting so many threes will help them be a better team in the future. First, by building that culture,
and they got stronger inside with Jared Allen maturing
absolutely.
Too.
So they got Jared Allen, Capella. They've got Spencer Dinwiddie and D'Angelo Russell running their 1-2 point guards.
Yeah.
Harden, CP3. So
they got their Joe Harris, Eric Gordon, too.
Absolutely. Brooklyn is really taking a lot of good notes. And as a Rockets fan,
Rondae Hollis-Jefferson's practically like their PJ Tucker or Ariza, however you want to dock that. And so
not shooting,
Brooklyn, they're just a little young.
Like 10 to
this will be a good experience for them going forward because Brooklyn is going to be a very strong team, very strong franchise. Like we said, they're going to be huge in the free agency market. I think they're going to draw more attention than New York or LA for that matter. So Brooklyn they're on the come up for sure, but 76ers, we got to go with the talent here. I'm taking 6 games, but that is going to be my favorite first round series besides Houston, obviously, to watch. I think it'll be very, very, very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Next series is going to be Celtics at the 4th seed Pacers at the 5th seed.
Last matchup in the first round here. So our last
Yep.
playoff preview right here.
Yep. Now, we agreed before we started recording on who we think is going to win. I changed my mind.
Damn.
So who do you have winning?
I
And
have.
I'll tell you, obviously,
I
everyone will know.
have Boston winning.
I actually think Indiana was going to win.
Really?
I think Indiana has the potential to do it. Here's the thing. I think we've always. I also have it in 7. I have it in 7. How many do you have it in?
6.
You got Celtics in 6. Okay. Here's the thing. So we've wanted the Celtics to flip the switch all season long.
I'm taking the Celtics. John's taking the Pacers.
Every single time we talk about the Celtics, we're like, they're struggling right now, but in a couple weeks they'll click it. They'll get it together. They'll start clicking. They'll do great. We took this for months, and it's not happened. I do not think that even when the playoffs come around, I still don't think it's going to happen. Everyone's treating it like we treated with the Warriors if they go on a struggle and then playoffs. We're like, okay, once playoffs start coming, they'll start taking off. I don't think Boston is that team. I think the problems of everyone knowing their role and everything, I don't think that goes away just when the playoffs start happening. I think it gets worse in the playoffs because this is the playoffs. This is your moment. You know, Terry Rozier guaranteed himself a lot of money this summer last year in the playoffs. And if I'm Terry Rozier, well, not if I'm Terry Rozier, but I feel like he's going to want to
have something to show.
He's going to want to show it again. And without having Marcus Smart, I don't know. I feel like Pacers have the ability to take 7 games and win in TD Garden.
Wow, that is a very, very bold prediction from you, I gotta say, John. I think you take a team like Boston, like you said, had struggled plenty in the regular season, had a lot of drama circulating around ESPN Sports and a bunch of analysts talking about their cohesion in the locker room and calling each other out. We've seen it time and time again with Marcus Smart, especially Kyrie Irving calling out teammates and questioning Brad Stevens almost, and just the chemistry of that team, I don't want to say is,
lacking.
Is lacking, but I think, like you said, you think it's going to get worse in the playoffs. I think the exact reason it's like that is because it's not the playoffs. And while it's going to be hard to say, okay, all those troubles and all those problems with moving the ball and getting open shots are going to go away, I do think, however, when you take that kind of talent and you're going to have Brad Stevens putting in a system for Kyrie Irving to really distribute. We see Kyrie Irving take over games when he's got like 30 points, 3 assists, whatever, but he has some really clutch shots towards the end. And then we saw these games this year where, he might only have 20-something, but he's got 11 or 12 assists. And this season, Kyrie Irving's had, I don't know the exact number of double-doubles, but it's in the teens somewhere. Sure. And point is, it's way, way more than he's ever had in his career with these assists, having career highs in assists every night. So for him to get into that mode and zone of distributing the ball to people like Gordon Hayward's going to have to be playing well. Rozier, like you said, I think Jaylen Brown's going to be huge. Jason Tatum, obviously, Marcus Morris. Sorry, and Al Horford, obviously. We have Marcus Smart is out right now. I'm getting this. Marcus Morris and Mark Smart.
You have the Morris twins and the Marcus twins.
Yeah, so you got Marcus out for this first round, which is going to be big because he does a lot on the defensive board, a lot on the hustle.
An abductor issue?
Yeah, he tore his
oblique.
Yeah, he tore his oblique. So he's going to be out for a little bit here. But Boston, and like I said, Kyrie, when he's getting in that distributing mode, obviously he can already hit those clutch shots. But I think now he's going to have to distribute the ball a lot more. And I personally still think Boston contends at that, probably the second best team behind Toronto, over the Bucks and the Sixers. It's funny how we disagree on that. So I think going forward, if the Celtics were to win this first round series, they're going to have to play the Bucks in the first round. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to take the Celtics. Everyone else probably going to take the Bucks, and we'll see how that shit shapes out. But
see how the runner-up does.
Yeah, see how the runner-up MVP does. So that's our first playoff preview. Let's just summarize the East real quick. We both have the Bucks winning that first seed matchup. Then we both have Toronto winning the second seed, and then
we both have
the Sixers winning, and then but disagree. I'm taking the Celtics. He's taking the Pacers. So we're about to have these strong 4 East teams coming out. We'll see how it all plays out. Today's first day of the playoffs. I'm keeping my eye on this first Nets and Sixers game that's starting up pretty soon. So. You got anything else to add for the playoffs? We'll see. We're obviously going to keep up the playoff preview going forward with the second round.
Yeah.
But really, really excited. Finally, we wait all this time for the regular season, 10 months of basketball, finally getting ready to actually see some real action, see some games that are going to matter in terms of their final standings and how teams really end up in this NBA season. So we have to call, Harden, the Rockets, they have a lot to prove. If Harden comes out this series and has a few bad games, I mean, can you imagine what people are going to start turning that turning that narrative? Oh, yeah, sure, he's averaging over 35, 36 games a season, but as soon as he gets in the playoffs, he didn't even score 30. What? Like, can you imagine people saying that? Take a team like Utah, who's really good defensively. It's going to be easy to see how stories can start spinning in this first round of playoffs. So for Harden to come out blazing to Houston, it's going to be really fun to watch. I'm super excited. Super stoked. The playoffs are starting.
Absolutely. Good talk.
Good talk. Let's go, baby. Go Houston.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on social media on Twitter and Instagram. We've changed the @ It's now. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on our social medias. I'll leave the link in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time when we talk about the NBA awards and who we have. We disagree a lot. Heads up.
Harden.